It all started with a simple idea, a backyard barbecue. Nothing fancy, just a Saturday cookout with some ribs, a cooler of drinks, and a chance to catch up with my old crew. I'm retired now, but back in the day, I worked alongside some of the toughest folks in public service, SWAT officers, DEA agents, firefighters, paramedics, you name it. These are the kind of people who run toward danger while the rest of us are sprinting the other way. So when I invited them over, I figured it'd be a chill day of swapping stories and grilling meat. Boy, was I wrong. The vibe was perfect at first. Rick, my firefighter buddy, was flipping hot dogs like he was auditioning for a cooking show. Tanya, a SWAT officer with a wicked sense of humor, was guarding the cooler like it held state secrets. Marcus, a DEA agent, was cracking jokes about busting me for suspicious meat activity. We weren't blasting music or setting off fireworks, just laughing, talking, and letting the smell of smoked ribs drift through the cul-de-sac. It was the kind of day that makes you glad to be alive. Then came Karen. Picture this. I'm mid-bite into a rib when she pops up behind my fence like a jump scare in a horror movie. She's holding a laminated clipboard in one hand and a cat leash in the other. No cat in sight, mind you. And her face is scrunched up like she just sucked on a lemon battery. Before I can even say, "Hey, neighbor," she's waving her phone in the air, recording us like we're a gang of burger-flipping fugitives. "Excuse me," she booms, her voice cutting through the chatter like a foghorn. "You're in violation of Code 7. Rick squints at her over the grill. "What the heck is Code 7? She flips open her binder with a dramatic flourish and reads, "Excessive outdoor congregation involving meat smoke and audible merriment." I swear, Tanya nearly drops her soda. She leans over and whispers, "That's not a real code, right?" I grin and shake my head. Not unless we're secretly running a brisket cartel. Karen doesn't find it funny. She jabs a finger at us like she's trying to poke a hole in the sky. "I've already called the police," she announces, smug as a cat who just caught a canary. "Let's see how long your little illegal meat party lasts." My brother-in-law Ruiz, a detective with zero patience for nonsense, raises an eyebrow. "You call the police on us?" Karen smirks. "Yes. Enjoy your ribs while you can." Marcus chokes on his drink, trying not to laugh, while Tanya pulls out her SWAT badge and pretends to inspect the potato salad for probable cause. We all exchange looks, and I can tell we're thinking the same thing. This is about to get good. Karen storms off, triumphant, like she's just won a war she started 5 minutes ago. We don't stop her. We don't even flinch. Instead, we refill our drinks and pull out extra chairs. Because here's the punchline she doesn't know yet. Every single person at this barbecue is the police or some flavor of 911, and she just called them on themselves. Let me tell you about Karen. She's not just a nosy neighbor. She's the self-appointed hall monitor of our cul-de-sac. Unelected, unappointed, but armed with a binder labeled neighborhood enforcement and a set of rules she printed on her own stationery. This woman's got an obsession with silence that's borderline religious. She once called animal control because someone's parrot whistled the Jeopardy theme too loudly. Another time, she reported a guy for having non-regulation flower beds, whatever that means. She's a one-woman crusade against anything remotely fun. So when she heard our laughter and smelled the grill smoke, it was like waving a red flag at a bull. She didn't just complain, she escalated. 15 minutes after her dramatic exit, flashing lights pull up. 2 rookie patrol officers step out, looking confused as hell. Karen sprints toward them, flailing like a traffic cone in a windstorm. "There, that's them," she shouts, pointing at us. "They've taken over the street. I think they're grilling without permits." The officers glance over. Rick's in his firehouse t-shirt, flipping burgers. Tanya's leaning against a cooler labeled Tactical Hydration Unit. Marcus gives a lazy wave with barbecue tongs in hand. Officer Sanchez squints. "Is that Agent Marcus?" Marcus salutes. "Hey, Sanchez. Nice of you to join us." The other officer blinks. "Detective Ruiz?" Ruiz holds up his badge with a shrug. Even cops gotta eat. Karen's mouth drops open. She starts noticing the badges, the IDs, the tactical boots she somehow missed earlier. Her face goes from red to white in seconds. This is a setup, she stammers. "You can't just pretend to be cops to avoid a noise complaint." Tanya snorts. "Pretend. Rick steps forward, patting her binder like he's issuing a citation. Impersonating an HOA president's a serious offense, lady. The officers are struggling not to laugh. One mutters into his radio, probably just a check-in to say, false alarm, just a backyard full of first responders getting hassled by a woman who thinks brisket's contraband. Instead of slinking away, Karen doubles down. This whole thing's a scam. You're conspiring to intimidate me. Tanya sips her soda. Lady, we're just trying to eat in peace. You're the one who called in a fake emergency over pulled pork. Karen backs off, pointing a shaky finger. This isn't over. I know my rights. Ruiz shakes his head. So do we. We teach the class. She disappears around the corner, flustered but not defeated. The officers linger, grab some ribs, and promise to swing by off-duty next time. We turn the music up a notch, and the barbecue rolls on. But I can feel it in the air. Karen's not done. She's just getting started. That first showdown was just the appetizer. Karen didn't slink away to lick her wounds. She came back swinging. The next morning, I step outside with my coffee and freeze. Right there on my perfectly mowed lawn is a giant skull made of manure, complete with angry eyebrows and cartoonish teeth. It's not just a prank. It's a compost-based curse. I call Marcus, who's a DEA surveillance nut with cameras everywhere. He's at my place in minutes, flash drive in hand, smirking. Check this out, he says, plugging it into my laptop. Sure enough, there's Karen at 2 a.m., dragging a bag of fertilizer in her tracksuit like a villain in a low-budget sitcom. She trips over her own garden gnome, cusses out a squirrel, and spends 20 minutes arranging the skull, stepping back to admire her work like a deranged artist. I play it on loop in our neighborhood group chat. Rick sends 15 laughing emojis and a pic of his grill captioned skull rib combo special. Tanya suggests printing stills for wanted crimes against lawns posters. Even Ruiz, who's usually stone-faced, texts, hazmat or let the grass win. Karen doesn't stop there. She goes live on Facebook that afternoon, standing on her porch with windblown hair and oversized sunglasses. This, she declares, panning to my house, is what happens when lawlessness takes root. She zooms in on her clipboard. These people are using their badges to harass innocent citizens. It's a barbecue-based regime change. The comments flood in, not with support, but mockery. Are you saying pulled pork's a government overthrow tool? One asks. My favorite plot twist. The real enemy was the brisket all along. She doubles down, printing flyers warning of suspicious law enforcement activity disguised as cookouts. She tapes them to street signs, stuffs them in mailboxes, even tries handing one to Marcus while he's walking his dog. He takes it, nods solemnly, folds it into an origami pig, and hands it back. Karen's escalating, and it's only a matter of time before she brings in reinforcements. A few days later, she unveils her next move, Dale. He shows up on my driveway in tactical gear that looks like it's from a Halloween clearance bin. Paintball vest, plastic handcuffs, a cracked helmet, and a duct tape badge reading Neighborhood Response Commander. He plants himself there like he's about to breach a hostage situation. I'm here to enforce order, he barks. Rick steps out with a spatula. You here for the cookout or the costume contest? Dale doesn't flinch. I'm authorized security. Tanya, recording from the porch, asks, authorized by who? The Community Behavioral Standards Department, he says. Ruiz flashes his badge. No such thing exists. Dale doubles down. That's what they want you to think. Marcus laughs, so hard he nearly drops his protein shake. Man, are you okay? Need a nap? Karen emerges from behind Dale, smug as ever. This is my cousin. He's here to enforce the rules. I hold up one of her pink flyers. You mean the ones you typed in Comic Sans? She nods. They're legally binding in spirit. Tanya leans forward. Karen, are you seriously trying to deputize your cousin in dollar store armor to enforce your fake HOA? Karen folds her arms. You force my hand. Rick looks at Dale. Buddy, impersonating law enforcement's a felony. Dale grins. I'm not impersonating. I'm doing a dramatic reenactment. Marcus steps up with his real badge. Cool. Consider this the season finale. He pulls out a citation form. Your taser's illegal, by the way. Modified. Want to go over that in the cruiser. Dale's tough guy act crumbles. Karen yells about entrapment and conspiracies, But the rookie officers from the first barbecue roll up, cuff Dale, and give Karen a stern warning. One of them grins at me. Ribs or burgers next time? The neighborhood erupts in laughter. Karen's campaign is unraveling, but she's not out of tricks yet. Karen's antics don't just annoy us, they unite us. Tanya dubs it Operation Neighborhood Reclamation. We plan another barbecue, but this time it's for everyone. We go door to door with real invites, even roping the mayor. He owes Marcus a favor and loves ribs. Karen catches wind of it and stands across the street, arms crossed, muttering in her notebook like she's prepping a courtroom closing argument. The day arrives, and it's a sitcom finale come to life. Neighbors who haven't spoken in months are laughing over burgers. Kids play tag. Rick makes Karen Free Zone t-shirts. Marcus hangs a live, laugh, law enforcement banner. Tanya frames Karen's fake HOA notice like an award. We set up a photo booth with plastic handcuffs and brisket cutouts. Karen's there, of course, recording and narrating like a disgruntled documentary host. This is what happens when society breaks down. Meat-based anarchy. The mayor shows up in a Hawaiian shirt, grabs a rib, and nods. Best ribs in the district. Karen waves her clipboard at him. He holds up the rib. Lady, I'm off duty. Let me eat in peace. That breaks her. She storms off, furious but not finished. We keep the party going, and for the first time, the street feels like a community, not just a collection of houses. Karen's next move is pure desperation. A white van crawls down the street, blaring sirens from loudspeakers, decked out with Christmas lights and a megaphone duct taped to a broomstick. Karen's behind the wheel, voice crackling. This is an unauthorized event. Disperse immediately. The doors fly open, and 4 guys in mismatched tactical gear stumble out, barking orders. Shut down that flame, one yells at the grill. Ruiz flashes his badge. Son, impersonating law enforcement, carries a minimum sentence of 6 months. Tanya adds, you're a man in dad's shoes and an airsoft vest. Karen steps out, wearing a neighborhood command sash and a plastic gavel. This is a lawful inspection. I offer her a plate of brisket. Want to shut this down before the real cops turn it into a field trip. She sneers. They won't stop me. I have video evidence. Marcus, on the phone with dispatch, winks. So do we, including Dale's taser and your forged docs. The real cops arrive, question the team. One's Karen's nephew on probation, who just shrugs. I came for the cupcakes. Karen climbs onto the van, arms outstretched. History will remember me. She trips, land in a lawn flamingo, and Rick quips. That's one way to make an exit. The cops warn her. One more stunt, and she's charged. We keep the caution tape as decor, blast we didn't start the fire, and reclaim a night. Karen's arsenal is dwindling, but she's got one last card. A manila envelope shows up on my door, Karen's suing me. Her petition for injunction claims our barbecues are underground raves, and we're training a rogue subdivision police force. She lists Tanya, Marcus, Rick, even Old Man Jensen as co-conspirators. We gather at my place, laughing over chips and beer. Marcus offers to represent us for fun. Rick suggests barbecue cartel shirts for court. The hearing's a circus. Karen, in an oversized suit, accuses me of leading a cult of charred meat enthusiasts. She claims Tanya's speakers are military-grade and Marcus flies drone sparrows. The judge, honorable amiss, stops her. You organized a fake raid with party store gear. Karen stiffens. That was a tactical inspection. Ruiz stands. We just wanted a grill. Tanya smiles. We're only guilty of excellent seasoning. The judge dismisses the case with prejudice and assigns Karen 20 hours of community service at the fire station. We walk out, letting the sunlight hit us like a victory lap. Karen stays behind, clutching her clipboard, dignity in tatters. Weeks pass and things quiet down. Then Rick calls. You won't believe this. I step outside and see Karen at the fire station, sweeping leaves in an orange vest under Captain Lou's smirk. No clipboard, no monologue, just a woman smaller without her puffed-up pride. That afternoon, we throw a low-key cookout. Halfway through, Karen appears at my yard's edge, holding a pie. Can I come in? She asks. Rick pauses mid-flip. Tanya raises an eyebrow. I nod. Sure, long as you're not declaring martial law. She cracks a tiny smile. I figured I'd try a different approach. She sits, eats, even laughs once or twice. Tanya whispers, redemption arc? I grin. Or the pie's poisoned. We laugh because life's weird like that. The street transforms. Kids draw chalk rockets. Old man Jensen salutes me. We trade recipes, watch each other's kids, joke about Karen permits for new residents. She didn't divide us. She glued us together with her absurdity. Karen stays for seconds, holding an empty plate. It's hard to be mad when you bring dessert, I say, handing her another slice. She smiles, bigger this time. I'll keep that in mind. And just like that, the saga ends. Not with handcuffs or court orders, but with pie and a chance to start over. Karen learns it's easier to join the party than shut it down. Me? I learned that even the wildest battles can end in peace if you've got good ribs and better friends. The neighborhood exhales, and we're finally free.